We are T-minus moments away from the start of the NWSL 2026 season.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
What's the
Everybody
procedure,
stay calm.
everyone? What's the procedure?
Stay calm.
Hey there folks, and welcome to Dummy Run Sports, and today I want to continue where I left off last video and make my way through the top half of last year's table, discussing off-season trades and signings, as well as make some predictions and give my hot takes on what to expect this coming season. Spoiler alert, Denver is gonna be...
Noggin. Dude.
Racing Louisville, last year you finally broke the dreaded 9th place curse.
Whoa, she turned me into a newt!
There is something to be said about consistency. However, if you are consistently in 9th place, yeah, that's not great. Luckily, it looks like you've started to trend in the right direction, finishing last year in 7th place.
We got better.
Making the playoffs is a huge accomplishment for this team, and I am sure that anything less than that this year will be unacceptable. Also, with the addition of midfielder Macy Hodge, anything less than being the most carded team in the league will also be unacceptable. Between Fisher, Flint, and Hodge, you have 3 of the top 5 carded players in the entire league.
The Ace of Hearts.
For a team that found momentum last year, it is kind of interesting how many rookie contracts Racing took on in this offseason. I know that Louisville hit it big with signing Emma Sears a couple years back, but I am surprised that they didn't go after and get a bigger threat at striker. Rachel Hill is a good add, though, after losing Becky Sonis and Ari Borges. And as I said, you are keeping the main pieces together with Sears, DeMello, Fisher, and Flint, but my biggest concern, though, is depth. As a hot take, I might sound pessimistic, but I just don't know where the goal scoring is going to be coming from this year. Emma Sears should continue to be phenomenal in her evolution as a unique young talent for Louisville, but she can't just be the only pocket ace.
The Ace of Hearts.
I truly hope Racing signed the future Rookie of the Year, but I just don't know. Up next, it pains me to say it, but it's the goddamn motherfucking San Diego Wave. I think San Diego had the right approach this offseason after firmly finding themselves in the playoffs last year. For all of these top table teams, the offseason goal should not be to become 50% better as a whole, but rather finding small improvements in the margin. And that's a lot of my criticism with Racing Louisville, deciding to go with a partial rebuild with young signings. For San Diego, adding excellent seasoned players like Gabby Portillo, Kiki Pickett, and Ludmila, as well as extending Barcenas and Dali, essentially being the training proxy for the French and Brazilian national teams, is a focused, responsible approach to this next season. That being said, losing key players like Sheridan and McCaskill is nothing to ignore, but I feel like head coach Jonas Eideval's approach to developing this team is very safe and low risk. For my stupid dumb hot take for this stupid dumb team, I think the goddamn motherfucking San Diego Wave will make the playoffs. I don't know. I got nothing. Will they be top 4? No, at least I hope not. But they do have one of the easier schedules in the league this year, especially the first half. So I would not be surprised if they get out to a hot start and stay pretty high up on the table and be the bane of my existence.
It would be extremely painful
To watch the San Diego Wave. Seattle, I can't help but start with the painful late-breaking move of trading away Jordan Heinema to Chicago. My original takeaway from your roster going into this season was, if 39-year-old Jess Fishlock and 19-year-old Emery Adams and 19-year-old Jordan Bugg aren't who they were last year, then who's going to score? Heidema was the answer, but she just left. Now, I am not saying that those 3 players won't have stellar years, but I think young players should be allowed the space to develop as young players and not be expected to carry a franchise. If they do, great. But compared to San Diego, this feels way more risky. Mia Fischel is definitely an option for your number one scorer this year, but again, if you wanted to be a true contender, I would have preferred to have both Mia and Jordan, not just one, especially with Jordan's aerial threat. And that being said, this is a quality roster with a lot of returning players such as Mondesir, Curry, Sofia Huerta, G, and Maddie Darlene. Hot take? I'm actually going to go with your defense after ripping your offense. You were fourth best in goals against last year, and I think that will continue. Dickey, McLernan, Bug, Curry, and Huerta is the most NWSL defense in the NWSL. As long as health is good this year, I think defense will be the thing that keeps you as a playoff threat. And if you can improve on being the fifth worst in goals for last year, you might actually find yourself in the Final Four. Orlando, I hate to say it because I always enjoy watching you play and beat the snot out of Angel City because the talent and the coaching has always been so high for the Pride. However, losing your top scorer in Barbara Banda due to a season-ending injury and trading away players like Priska Chilufya, Ali Watt, and Emily Sams is a lot of knockout punches to take and still resemble the championship-winning team from a few years ago. Plus, as amazing as Marta is, she is 40. So this might be your transition era. I refuse to call it a rebuild because you still have a tremendous amount of quality players in Marta, Morehouse, Rafaela, Angelina, and basically the other half of the Brazilian team that is not on San Diego. Plus, adding an assist machine like Haley Mace helps this transition period a lot. My hot take? Honestly, everyone should go to as many Orlando Pride games as they can go to, just to watch Marta in what will probably be her final season. She is a generational talent and an international legend who has changed the landscape of women's sports with how many young girls and boys that she has inspired. Marta is a true competitor, and I expect nothing but class from her this year. Ah, yes, the Portland Thorns. The playoffs were never a question last year. However, finishing third was a nice little bonus. First thing I want to congratulate you on is finding a head coach before the start of the season. From experience, waiting till mid-season to hire someone tends to lead to a wasted year, which is not a good way to treat your season ticket holders, especially for a club with the best, most dedicated fan base in the league. Now, what he does this year is another story. With Jessie Fleming, Olivia Moultrie, and Sam Coffey, you had a dominant midfield last year. So it is no surprise that a lot of goals and quality chances were coming from the midfield. But that also prohibited you to get in between the lines and be a real threat down low. Losing Coffey and Sagita is going to force a change in the midfield. And with the addition of Sophia Wilson and one of the most underrated wingers in the league, in Morgan Weaver, I think it is going to open up a lot of things for you. I think players like Raylan Turner, Dana Castellanos, and Alexis Spanstra will be a lot more open this year when Sophia and Morgan get back. Hot take for Portland, I would like to see your new head coach be creative with the back five, that being the defensive back line and the midfield. Jessie Fleming is a true central midfielder, and I do not want to see her get stuck too far back. That is not where she thrives. So being flexible and trying creative formations, especially in the first month of games, would be really beneficial. Try 3 center backs, maybe a mid-block at times, a 4-4-2 diamond, anything. Try it all out. Portland has the toughest opening 5 to 6 weeks out of any team in the league. The focus should be to use the first month to try everything out against the best teams from last season. So after they get through the tough start, they have a clear identity to build around. Heartbreaking end to last season, Washington. You made it all the way to the end, but just couldn't hang on. Again. And as I said in part 1 of the series, Washington and Kansas City will be playing angry all season long with how things ended last year. In this offseason, you did add some depth and experience in your defense, which surely won't be a bad thing. But here's the quagmire I come up against thinking about this next year for you. Last year, so many attacking players missed games due to injuries and whatnot. Rodman, Kuesi, Hatch, Santos, Bethune, Cantori, just to name a few, only played half seasons, and yet you ended second in goals for last year. That is impressive. So not making big moves or just lateral moves in the offseason is okay because just getting players healthy is adding to this roster. But here's the thing. Going all in on Trinity is going to affect what else can happen with this roster. You are in the beta testing phase for this new high impact aka Trinity Rodman rule. Again, I think her getting healthy is the equivalent of signing 3 new forwards, but at what cost? Well, Croy Bethune and Sam Coffey of Portland are already casualties of this rule, going to other clubs where they have brighter financial futures. Link here if you want to see my video about this new high-impact rule. My hot take for the Spirit: I think the potential is there for you to get back to the finals this year. You are in my top 4 for sure, but trading not just a key player, but a glue player, a player that made everything work last year, like Bethune, might really come back to bite you. Not just because she went to another team, but because she went to the team that you 100% will have to beat to win a championship. If this team stays healthy and is the team they are on paper, I think they can do it. But if players miss games like they did last year, does this team have the backbone again this year? Speaking of teams with a backbone, Kansas City. KC, you came off a record-setting season last year, but then crashed out in the first round. It's a brutal way to end a stellar season, and that is why I think you will be even more dominant and angry this year. It really was yours to lose last year, and, well, you did. Now, sadly, do I think that you win that final game last season if you had Chewinga or Cooper available? Yeah, 100% I think you win that game, even if just one of those players is healthy. With these top teams, I am bringing up health and depth a lot because it is such an uncontrollable factor. This is why it worries me that in the offseason, players like Alex Pfeiffer, Haley Mace, Claire Hutton, and Bia left for other clubs. Granted, the aforementioned Croy Bethune will be a delightful addition to the already strong midfield with Lo Labonta and Ali Sentner. Hot take: overall, this club does have the depth, even with Chewinga still out. Will they have the massive plus 36-point differential this season? Yeah, probably not, but you just have to win games, not blow other teams out of the water. And if this team plays in an all-hands-on-deck approach, I think they can easily be the team to beat again this year. I am expecting massive seasons from Michelle Cooper, Dabinia, and Penelope Hawking. And now, finally, the team that I cannot wait to talk about, the Denver Summit. I'm going to start with my hot take. They will be in the Final Four this year. Not just the top 4 in the bracket, but playing in the semifinals, if not the finals. I am that high on Denver.
Rocky Mountain High.
Some might even say a mile high.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Denver, it is high time that Colorado had a women's sports club, and I think its fans will be rewarded with some high-level athleticism. One of the reasons I think so highly of this team is that at the Coachella Valley Invitational preseason event, which draws from all of the Western and Central teams, Denver was the best team there. Granted, it is preseason, and I think it's more important to try things out, like players and schemes, than put a finished product on the field. But that is kind of my point. If they were still just putting things together like all the other clubs, and they looked that cohesive, wow.
Wow.
And here's another reason I'm highly regarding this team. They are all big, tall athletes who look like they all hike 14ers together after practice. These are all tall, big, strong girls with only 4 or 5 players under 5'8". Now, I don't think that they will be a top team just because they are beautiful Amazon women, but because it is clear that head coach Nick Cushing has a vision and type of player that he envisions will be successful in this league. And from what I've seen, the execution of that vision has been pretty spot on. One player to look out for is number 33, rookie Olivia Thomas. She is a tall, strong, attacking forward whose speed allows her to get in behind the back lines and cause a lot of chaos. Olivia Thomas, I think, will surely be the rookie of the year this year.
And don't call me Shirley.
Okay, that's about it for me. If you have enjoyed this video, consider giving it a like and subscribe. This is a new channel dedicated to women's sports, so your support would go a long way. Okay, see ya.